And we are ready. Two full sections of Lady Husky fans have made the trip down from Connecticut, and they have certainly made themselves seen and heard around St. Thomas. And they've been here early for the previous game where Duke had a very tough game against Temple. Duke will be in the championship game on Sunday, and if Connecticut can win, they will be in that game, and we will have it for you right here. So UConn wearing their road blues, and the home whites being worn by Old Dominion. Tina Charles will jump it up at center. Tiffany Green for Old Dominion. And we're underway. Old Dominion gets the tip. They go straight down to TJ Jordan, who lays it in to open the scoring.
Said it was important for Old Dominion to start with intensity. What a great play off the tip to get them started and into this game.
Kalena Green, 15 points, and last night's game played particularly well in the second half. Here is Renee Montgomery. Well, she hit 2 threes early in the game yesterday. Misfires on her first attempt, but the Huskies will keep it underneath.
And Old Dominion starting out in a man-to-man defense, but they may mix it up and may even throw a little full court to try to slow down the Huskies.
Out to Brittany Hunter on the inbound. Gives to Montgomery. Charles down low. Can't hit against Megan Pym. This is Jasmine Walters.
And Meg Pym came over for the help side defense to help out with Charles when they made that lob. So that's good team defense by ODU.
Drive by Shahida Williams. Walters from the corner. Hit the side of the backboard. Rebound corralled by Williams. TJ Jordan steps into a three. She's deadly from three-point range, but can't hit there.
Well, she hit 6 3-pointers in their last game to move into the lead for all-time three-point shooting. That would have been a big one for ODU to get started with that.
Just over a minute gone. It's a 2-0 Lady Monarchs lead. Mel Thomas.
And this is what Old Dominion wants to see, is for UConn to have to execute their half court, to make those extra passes and not score easily. Good execution there by the Huskies.
Tough hoop inside for Renee Montgomery. Down low, Tiffany Green on the baseline. Well defended by Tina Charles. Big scramble for the rebound. ODU's got another loose ball.
Well, the Old Dominion coach has talked about we cannot be intimidated by the name on the jersey of our opponent. We got to come out and play hard. And their first 3 games, they're 3-0. They've played with a lot of intensity and enthusiasm, and a much improved team from last year.
Walters misses on the 3. Rebound, Brittany Jackson. Always with her head up, Renee Montgomery brings it across. Hunter on top, swings to Green. Entry pass inside. Tina Charles going hard to the basket, lost it out of bounds, but last touched by Old Dominion.
Again, good help defense by Meg Pym. Green was underneath of Charles trying to draw the charge, but Meg Pym reaches in and swats it out of bounds.
Kalena Green will inbound all the way out to Hunter. Montgomery down low. Tina Charles misses from point-blank range. Pym the rebound.
You got to finish that if you're Tina Charles. Great post-up position, and she has got to finish that shot.
Megan Pym faked the 3, now driving. Rejected! That was Tina Charles with the block. Montgomery weaving her way. Mel Thomas left alone. Can't get the roll on the 3. Hunter the rebound. Stripped away, and now Kalena Green collects.
Well, sloppy play here early, but both teams hustling after it, getting after loose balls and the offensive boards.
Brittany Hunter hits from the free throw line, and the Huskies have the lead.
And that's what UConn has to have, whether it's Sharday Houston or Maya Moore off the bench or Brittany Hunter. They've got to have that high post player that can nail that jumper to free up the room inside so that Tina Charles doesn't have to deal with a help defender.
And we've got a kick violation on the Huskies. So the Lady Monarchs will have it. Gino Auriemma, in his 23rd season at the helm of Connecticut, he has brought 5 national championships. And last Final Four trip back in 2004. They're itching for another one. And they just might have the team to do it. 7 on the shot clock. TJ Jordan drives and dishes inside. Brittany Hunter will be called for the foul. They'll say she hit Shahida Williams.
Well, I don't know about that call inside, but that is a beautiful pass by T.J. Jordan, weaving in through the defenders, zipping the pass underneath. I thought, well, Hunter got a lot of ball up top, but she also had her hand on the hip down below, and I think that's why they called the foul. What a great pass by T.J. Jordan, who is an excellent shooter for Old Dominion there, showing her ability to pass the ball too.
Shahida Williams looking to salvage 1 of 2. She is now 6 of 11 on the season from the free throw line.
And Shahida Williams had 15 points in their opening round game against Middle Tennessee, or their first game of the season. Then 11 points against East Carolina. And she was 0 for 8 against Charlotte. So she is trying to find her way back into the scoring column.
Well, Shahida Williams commits the foul, her first, and Maya Moore in at the 16:45 mark. A minute early, maybe, earlier than we normally see her, but why not?
Well, UConn starts the game yesterday against Stanford with all sorts of intensity and jumps out to a 9-2 lead over Stanford, and give Old Dominion a lot of credit for the way they've come out, but UConn has not been able to get a lot of points, so that's why Maya Moore is in the game.
Down low, Tina Charles. Again, good position. Blocked by Tiffany Green. Lady Monarchs have numbers. Inside, great catch off of the pass. Jessica Kennedy just in the game, took the feed from Walters.
Kennedy, a sophomore, has played very well this season off the bench.
UConn turns it over. Moore and Charles could not connect. Jordan lets fly in transition. Rebound, Shahida Williams. Tries to go inside, deflected by Moore and stolen by Charles. Here comes Renee Montgomery. Huskies have numbers. Give to Moore and lays it in.
Maya Moore runs the floor so well, and throughout their first few games, her teammates understand that she will always be in a position to score, and Renee Montgomery is going to get a lot of assists this year in transition, getting it to Moore.
Kylie McLaren, who did not play last night against Stanford, is at the scorer's table now, 4.5 minutes into the game. Jasmine Walters, 8 on the shot clock, tries to cross over, lost it, gets in the hand of Jordan. Fires it underneath for the layup. 2 quick hoops for Jessica Kennedy. What a spark off the bench, but they've been 2 brilliant passes.
Well, exactly. Beautiful pass by Jordan, having the wherewithal and understanding what was happening, even though they were diving at her feet for the ball, looked up and found the open player.
Kalena Green trying to operate on the low post, gives to Moore, step into the hole, extra pass, laid in by Tina Charles.
Very unselfish play by Maya Moore. Not only is she in the right spot to be the recipient of the pass for the score, she's got her head up and makes a beautiful pass to set up Tina Charles.
Huskies back on top by 2. Tiffany Green working inside. Deflected out of bounds by Connecticut, and it will remain Old Dominion ball underneath with 13 on the shot clock. 14:44 to play in the first half. It's 8-6 Connecticut over Old Dominion.
It has become the premier destination for preseason college basketball. You're watching the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam on the campus of the University of the Virgin Islands.
Well, a great start of the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Connecticut out to the 8-6 lead over Old Dominion, and we've seen some tremendous ball movement in the early going.
Every single field goal made has been assisted in this game. 4 for Connecticut, 3 for Old Dominion. Here, a great pass from the point guard Walters into Kennedy. And on the other end, good ball movement by Connecticut. Look at the pass. Moore streaking inside, gives it up to Tina Charles inside. Excellent passing and unselfish play by both teams here early.
So at the 14:44 mark, it is the 2-point lead for Connecticut. Kylie McLaren coming into the game for her first action of this Paradise Jam. So is Keisha Soignier in for Connecticut. And a block shot by Maya Moore, still battling for it. Now Pym recovers, dumps it down low. Jessica Kennedy has 3 layups in this game, and she's only been on the floor less than a minute.
And each of the shots she's had has been the result of a great pass from a teammate.
And a scramble for the loose ball. This will be an Old Dominion foul on Shadeja Green, who has just came in for the Lady Monarchs.
You know, the UConn defense, they make you make that extra pass. They're a good help defensive team. They put enough pressure on the person with the ball and bring the help that you need to kick and make the extra pass. And that's what Old Dominion is doing so far.
Maya Moore operating at the high post. Mel Thomas just inside the arc, can't get the roll. Here comes Jordan bringing it up against Montgomery. Shadeja Green gives it across. Now Jordan again. This is Jasmine Parker into the game. Shows a wild left-handed shot. Kennedy working the glass. Now Pym will try, and she draws the foul on Maya Moore.
How about this Old Dominion team getting after the offensive boards? That is something that Gino Ariema cannot be happy about. And Old Dominion, we talked about that they needed to come in with some intensity to be able to match UConn. This Old Dominion team did not play yesterday. They didn't get in until very late Wednesday night. And they packed in all the fun they were going to have on this trip yesterday while everybody else was playing, and now it's time to play ball, and they're ready to play.
Yes, they are. And right now they can take the lead again. And Pym can't hit the second free throw. Rebound Maya Moore, who had such a brilliant game against Stanford.
Old Dominion shooting themselves in the foot right now. 0 for 4 from the free throw line, missing some free opportunities. Wendy Larry has to be frustrated about that. Happy with the team's play, but you've got to hit those free throws when you have the chance.
Foul on Jasmine Parker, freshman guard, and off the bench, replacing Jasmine Walters. McLaren has it at the high post, gives to Montgomery. A big collision with Megan Pym, and it'll go against Old Dominion's Pym.
Now, I love the way Megan Pym contributes to this Old Dominion team. She hustles, she flies around. You've seen her already getting her hands on the offensive rebound, but there she just made a poor decision, stepping out, reaching out, and trying to cut off Renee Montgomery.
Maya Moore at the high post. It's the turnaround jumper.
She can hit from all over. When she raises up for that jumper over the defenders, that is unstoppable.
Does it with such ease, doesn't need a dribble to set it up. She's such a refined game at such a young age. There's the deep shot from Jasmine Parker. It's a three and a 1-point ODU lead.
Parker, 50% three-point shooter on this young season, 4 of 8 coming into today's game.
McLaren down low off the feed from Moore.
As you mentioned, Mark, McLaren did not even play in yesterday's game against Stanford, and I thought she had some good size to go up against Appel, but the Huskies were doing well enough without her in the game, and I think she's a good matchup here with Pym and Green inside for Old Dominion.
Jordan can't hit inside. Battle for the rebound. Last touch by Connecticut. Old Dominion will keep it with 10 on the shot clock. Tina Charles up off the Connecticut bench. She'll come back in for Renee Montgomery. Jasmine Walters also back in along with Shahida Williams. TJ Jordan out with Shadeja Green for ODU.
UConn going bigger. That shifts Maya Moore out to the 3 position on the perimeter instead of inside. She can play the 2, 3, or 4.
2 Jasmine guards out on the floor for Old Dominion. Parker handling now. Walters on the far side. Parker, wild shot inside, and a shot clock violation on the Lady Monarchs.
Well, half-court offensive execution is not Old Dominion's strength. They like to push the tempo and try to score in transition. Usually, if they can get 60 to 70% of their scoring in transition, they would prefer that, and aren't as good on the half-court offensive execution. I think you saw an example of that there.
Mel Thomas misfires on the way for Keisha Soigné. Soigné really curled a little tighter off that cut, and the pass sailed high and wide.
And that's something UConn worked on today in practice, is curling around that screen. And so she read the defense right, but the passer didn't put the ball in the right place.
Second turnover of the game on the Huskies, only 1 on Old Dominion. Now an offensive foul on Megan Pym. She set an illegal screen. That's 2 fouls now on Pym.
And Wendy Larry is not happy about that at all. Meg Pym is such a valuable player for this team. She's a consistent scorer that gets 8 or 9 points a game, but she's just that heart and soul kind of player that works her tail off, gets the loose balls, and makes things happen. So that's a big loss to have Pym go to the bench.
Jessica Kennedy comes right back into the game for Old Dominion. Soignier on the wing, enters down low. McLaren double team, fires it out, retrieved by Mel Thomas. Some tough defense here by the Lady Monarchs.
That's a Wendy Larry trademark. Good pressure defense, deflecting the ball, disrupting with the D.
And we'll get a foul. It'll be against Jasmine Parker. Second foul on Parker, but first a timeout on the floor with Connecticut up by 1 over Old Dominion. 12-11, UConn with the lead over Old Dominion at the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. We had a chance to talk to Gino Auriemma about all the things that Maya Moore brings to the floor.
She's one of those unique individuals. Maya can play 3 positions. She's a 2-guard because she shoots it. She's a small forward because she's a slasher, and she's a post player because she's a great rebounder. So when we recruited Maya Moore, it's like bringing in three players.
And that's why she's so valuable coming off the bench. And Gino Auriemma has said some of our greatest players that have played at the University of Connecticut have come off the bench, but she can come in at the 2, 3, or 4 depending on where's the mismatch, who's not playing well, where do we need to get an extra bump either in scoring or rebounding, and Gino can put her into the position that they most need her in because of her versatility.
Got her hands on the ball now off the inbound. Decides her best move is to drive and dish to Charles. Charles was fouled. This one will go against Jessica Kennedy.
That's an unselfish play, but Maya Moore had a mismatch. She had Green, a much bigger player, on her, and Maya Moore had the size and quickness advantage. She should have just gone all the way in and laid that up instead of passing it off to Tina Charles. I appreciate that she's unselfish, but that's one of those cases where she should have taken it to the hole herself.
Tina Charles misses the first free throw. She's 6 of 13 from the line. And in fact, in the early going, Connecticut has not shot free throws well at all this season.
That's something that, with the games they've had early, they can get away with that. But as you're contending down in Big East regular season and Big East tournament and NCAA tournament time, you better be able to make your free throws.
Absolutely. Connecticut shooting free throws on the season under 60% at the moment. P.J. Jordan, the Walters, who backs it out, 7 on the shot clock. Walters drives into the lane, wild floater off the mark, rebound Charles, knocked away.
Look at that
by
hustle.
Kennedy. Now Kennedy has it back again.
See, I think Shahida Williams for Old Dominion is like Helena Green for Connecticut. She gets all over the boards.
(14-13) ODU for the moment. Well, just for the moment, a three-pointer for Soignier puts the Huskies back on top by a deuce.
Soignier is one of the best change of pace guards in the game and doesn't hit a lot of three-pointers, but has worked on that on the offseason so that if she's left open, she can pull the trigger.
Shahida Williams to drive and an offensive foul. Soignier stepped in to shut off the baseline.
Right now, Old Dominion's getting in some foul trouble. They've got Meg Pym on the bench with 2, and they're picking up several fouls from key players, and then they don't have the depth that this University of Connecticut team has. So they're playing aggressively, but they're getting into some foul trouble.
Yes, the second foul on Williams. Also, Parker has 2, and 2 on Pym, as you mentioned. So they are starting to pick them up a little bit here. Tina Charles out beyond the arc. Now it's Moore at the high post. Enters down low. Charles, good position. Bank shot won't go. 2 Huskies crashing the boards and crashing to the floor. It's Green and Moore. They're both fine.
Those are 2 incredible offensive rebounders, Green and Maya Moore, and both of them just happen to be in the same place at the same time, crashing into one another. But you got to love that hustle, and you're glad that everybody's all right.
Just about the midway point of the first half, and a 2-point Connecticut lead over Old Dominion. Lady Monarchs with the ball. Shadeja Green into the lane. Cannot hit. Brittany Hunter back in the game, rips the rebound. Soignier pushing the pace with her head up. Inside, good catch. Well, almost a good catch by Brittany Hunter. And it goes over to the Lady Monarchs.
Now that's a tough pass to catch.
Yes.
In traffic, it wasn't quite timed right. But Hunter still saying, my bad, to Keisha Soignier. Thought she should have had it.
Fourth turnover of the game for UConn. And a foul out front. Renee Montgomery is whistled.
You know, that is such a size disadvantage for Old Dominion. Jasmine Walters only 5'2", but she's holding her own so far. She doesn't get herself into the lane in bad position very often. We saw her one time as the shot clock was winding down, try to throw it up, but she's pretty smart about not getting herself into those kind of situations.
That was the first foul on Montgomery, just the third on the Huskies. TJ Jordan to the baseline, stepped out of bounds.
Yeah, Jordan, the go-to player, averaging 19 points a game for Old Dominion, only with 2 field goals here early in the game. One of a three-pointer. She has 5 points, but they really rely on her for that offensive spark.
Soignier, the drive and dish, it was broken up nicely by Tiffany Green, but it'll stay right here with Connecticut.
Tiffany Green there, number 45, fractured her foot 2 seasons ago, and conditioning was a real issue for her last season, but this year she is the healthiest and in the best condition she's been in her career.
Nice defensive play there for Kennedy. Diving to the floor was Walters, and now a foul on Maya Moore, who went up the back of TJ Jordan right here in front of us.
I'll tell you what, I am very impressed with the intensity that Old Dominion is playing with. Both teams are bringing it to the court, but Old Dominion is not intimidated. They are not afraid to get on the floor. Maya Moore gets on the floor, but there Walters tries to get it over to Jordan, and Maya Moore just a little bit out of control comes and fouls Jordan. But that's some good hustle from both teams.
It is the second foul on Maya Moore, 4th on the team. Kennedy out high. Now it's TJ Jordan with Mel Thomas trying to contain her. Tough job for Thomas here. Here comes the screen from Walters. They switch it to Montgomery. Now she's screened and then thrown away to steal by Moore, crossing over. It's a 3-on-1. Finds the man ahead. It is Montgomery for the layup.
Oh, and then a bad turnover on the inbounds by Kennedy. Just kind of floated it out there in no man's land, and Renee Montgomery steps in, and then Kennedy touched it, so a quick turnover. That's a big turn of events. First, Old Dominion makes a bad pass. They had a great pick and roll opportunity, but Jordan led it inside too much, turned it over. UConn capitalizes with a fast break point, then get the turnover, and we'll see what they can do with it here.
Mel Thomas gives to Maya Moore. In rhythm, drills the elbow jumper. It's a 6-point UConn lead, their largest.
And that's about a 6-point turnaround too, where if Old Dominion can get that pick and roll on the other end, that's 2 points they can get. Instead, they give up 4 on the other end.
Jen Nuzzo is into the lineup for Old Dominion wearing number 12. Moore knocks it away and battles for the ball. It's a tie-up situation. Possession arrow to the Huskies. A great battle going on at the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. The Huskies lead by 6 over the Lady Monarchs. The UConn men's basketball team will travel to St. Thomas next season for the 2008 Paradise Jam. Basketball Travelers is putting together exclusive fan packages at the Team Hotel in Paradise. Contact Basketball Travelers at paradisejam.com or call 425-776-2775 to reserve your package today.
You know, you have 2 coaches in this game that have contributed a great deal to their coaching profession. Wendy Larry has just finished up her stint as the president of the Women's Basketball Coaches Association. Right now it's Sherry Cole from the University of Oklahoma, but the president-elect is Gino Ariema, who will start his duties in a couple of years. So both coaches giving of their free time, of their spare time, to further the profession overall.
Connecticut with the ball and a 6-point advantage. Sharday Houston with it, goes right inside, could not connect with Brittany Hunter. That is the 6th turnover of the game for the Huskies. Jen Nuzzo will draw a blocking foul on Renee Montgomery. That's Montgomery's 2nd.
Yeah, Montgomery got tied up there. Old Dominion trying to push ahead, push tempo, get the ball out in front, but Montgomery not quite giving her enough room to come down, and draws the foul, picks up the foul.
Good look at it there. I think it was the right call. Down low, Shadeja Green. Brittany Hunter the rebound.
That's just good defense, good position defense by Maya Moore, not letting Shadeja Green, go up easily.
Ball knocked away. It'll be an Old Dominion foul. Shadeja Green reaching in. Check it, that is Tiffany Green. And bonus situation right now as Brittany Hunter will go to the line for the Huskies.
Yeah, Wendy Larry there with the trademark towel over her shoulder. I was wondering, since we're down here in the Virgin Islands, if she'd have a beach towel thrown over her shoulder, but that looks like a pretty traditional towel she's got over her shoulder.
Well, miss at the free throw line, but a long rebound right back out to UConn. Huskies just 1 of 3 from the line. Maya Moore off the Hunter screen. Gives to Hunter in the post. Hunter spins inside and lays it in.
Yeah, Green just playing a little Statue of Liberty defense there, and Brittany Hunter did a nice job using her quick feet to just get right around.
Backdoor pass. Jordan lays it in, plus the foul. A beautiful feed from Jessica Kennedy. Now a chance for a 3-point play for Jordan.
And we saw Jessica Kennedy be the recipient of some of those great passes earlier. That time she delivers a beautiful bounce pass on the backdoor cut for Jordan. Watch how Jordan gets away from Mel Thomas. Brittany Hunter tries to come over and help position, but draws the foul. But that's a beautiful pass by Kennedy to set her up.
It's a 2nd foul on Brittany Hunter. She's going to check out now, replaced by Tina Charles. Moore and Montgomery have already gone to the Connecticut bench. Sharday Houston back up and in, along with Kalena Green. Green's got it now against pressure. Old EU showing a little 3-quarter court. Soigné, bounce pass down low. Sharday Houston out to Green. Catch and shoot from the wing. Rebound Nuzzo. 5-point Connecticut lead. Shadeja Green on the drive. Banks it in against the smaller Soigné.
And again, just that aggressive attitude by Old Dominion. They are going to attack the rim, whether we've seen some great passing, that time off the bounce.
Sharday Houston maybe trying to do too much there. Lost it as the Huskies turn it over.
You know, and keep in mind, this Old Dominion team last year beat Rutgers and beat them handily, 72-55 on December 30th. And that's the part of the year Rutgers was still getting their act together, but that was the infamous game where Vivian Stringer then took away the locker room and the other privileges. And then, of course, UConn fans know very well Rutgers goes on to win the Big East tournament and then makes it to the national championship game where they lost to Tennessee. But Old Dominion beat them at the end of December.
Open look for Thomas. She can't hit. Now Nuzzo will speed it the other way. Shahida Williams back to Nuzzo. And now TJ Jordan. Shahida Williams out for Nuzzo.
Oh!
Stolen by Sharday Houston.
A lot of passing that time and maybe one too many passes. The defender went with the pass and Nuzzo could have took it in for a layup.
And a travel on Sharday Houston.
Boy, Sharday Houston struggling in this tournament.
That she is. Now each team with 8 turnovers in the ball game. And Connecticut doing a little more with the Old Dominion turnovers than the Lady Monarchs are doing with the Huskies. Shahida Williams picks up the dribble. Kennedy on the baseline, stripped away by Sharday Houston, but it will remain Old Dominion ball, still with 13 on the shot clock. Houston comes out, Kylie McLaren back in for Connecticut.
Well, UConn right now packing it in the paint, forcing Old Dominion to try to take a shot outside because Old Dominion's been so good at attacking and being aggressive and getting the high percentage shots recently. UConn packing it in to try not to allow that, although Jordan, a good three-point shooter, didn't connect on that one.
Not nearly. Now under 5 minutes to play. A 3-point Connecticut lead. Make it 6 as Mel Thomas does her thing. Hits a 3.
87 three-pointers last year, led the Big East, and that's what she's in the game for, that and her hustle plays.
Closing in on the 1,000-point mark. If she gets busy tonight and Sunday, she may just do it down in St. Thomas. And we have a foul on Connecticut, and it will send Tiffany Green to the line. Kylie McLaren picked up her first for UConn. And Green misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Rebound to Charles, and quickly up, Soigné. Straight down the lane, left it for McLaren. Maybe Soigné should have shot that.
Yeah, definitely. Soigné was so fast getting around all the defenders. She was there. Again, one of those plays where, yes, you have to appreciate being unselfish and giving up the ball, but if you've got a clear track to the rim, you need to take the shot.
She was open. McLaren was covered. Shahida Williams into the post. Tiffany Green stripped away by the quick hands of Soigné. Soigné off to the races again. This time she'll keep it and miss. Mel Thomas can't get the follow.
Well, Soigné was bent on making sure she was going to shoot that shot, but left it short. Couldn't get it up above the rim. Mel Thomas had an extra opportunity, but they come up dry.
Williams had it stripped away by Kalena Green. Soigné at midcourt. And she walked as she was being tied up by Jasmine Walters. So it'll be Old Dominion ball, trailing by 6 with 3:41 to play in the first. And welcome back to the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Connecticut and Old Dominion battling it out, and the Lady Monarchs have certainly come to play tonight. They may be a bit overmatched as far as talent and depth is concerned, but they have battled every bit as hard as Connecticut.
Well, they certainly have. They have come out and worked hard and played with intensity, good defense, and just are right in this ball game. And what a great tournament here in November to have this kind of talent, all these great teams coming together in one location. The Paradise Jam has been known for the last couple of years to draw some of the best teams in the country, and Basketball Travelers that puts this whole event together just does an excellent job. Not only the competition they put on the court, but the experience that they give to the players and the teams and the fans away from the court.
Treat us pretty well, too, and throw that one in there.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, the miss for Parker. Long rebound up ahead now. Mel Thomas leaves it for Tina Charles, who does the rest. 8-point Huskies lead.
Gino Ariema says we are a running team. That's who we are. Old Dominion likes to run as well, but on a made shot, they're showing they just going to walk it up the court because they need to make sure that they don't allow UConn to just get into this up-tempo game.
Parker the air ball, and quickly Soigné back in transition. Mel Thomas hits her second three of the game, and just like that, the Huskies have busted it out to a double-digit lead.
You have got to find Mel Thomas in transition. That's what she does, as well as any three-point shooter in the country. Spots up beyond the three-point arc as UConn runs that fast break, tries to score in transition. Here she's just moving beyond the arc, moving without the basketball, cutting behind. Nobody picks her up. She's got a clear shot at the basket in rhythm, and she's deadly from three-point range.
Mel Thomas, all 6 of her points coming from beyond the arc this evening. It's great rotation and economy of motion. When she gets the feet set, you can pretty much forget about it.
She understands that when UConn is at its best and they're fast breaking and they're moving quickly down the court, you've got an opponent on their heels trying to get back to the paint to stop the easy basket. Well, that's a great opportunity for a three-point shooter and a team that rebounds as well as UConn, because she can set up and be available for and spot up for the three-point shot, and then you've got all those other rebounders coming down in case she doesn't hit it. It's still a good quality shot.
Shahida Williams lost the dribble on the baseline, needs a friend. It's Tiffany Green. Megan Pym is back into the game after a fairly long sit on the bench. Nice hesitation move. Jordan throws up a tough runner. McLaren can't quite track it down. It'll be Old Dominion ball underneath.
Keisha Soignier was playing some excellent defense that time, tracking Jasmine Walters, who at 5'2" is very quick. But Soignier, no stranger to quickness herself, was hanging right with her, making it difficult.
And a 5-second violation. The Huskies defense denying the inbound.
You know, that's one of those cases where Walters is the point guard, so many teams choose to put their point guard out of bounds to inbounds it, but with her size disadvantage, that's a really difficult place for her to be able to see what's happening. She's trapped on the baseline, there's a taller defender on her, and that's just a difficult situation for a 5'2".
Beautiful cut to the basket by Tina Charles, and she was fed by Soignier.
Excellent screen off the ball, good aggressive cut to the basket by Charles.
Tina Charles having a nice tournament here with 7 points. Last field goal for the Lady Monarchs was 6 minutes and 13 seconds. And right now they're shooting just 27% from the field, 8 of 29. Huskies getting good looks, shooting 56% now. And with a UConn foul on Kalena Green, we'll have 1 and 1 for Shahida Williams. Williams is senior from Newark, New Jersey, Malcolm X Shabazz High School. We'll have 1 more free throw. Old Dominion not shooting well at all from the line tonight. Just 2 of 7. Williams trying to stop what's been a pretty strong Huskies run here. It has broken the game open. 13 points was their largest. It sits at a dozen at the moment. McLaren out high. Backdoor bounce for Soignier. Can't convert. Charles is there and lays it back. She's got 9, and the lead is their largest of the game, 14.
And Tina Charles had 11 rebounds last night. She's got 7 already tonight.
Great position down low. Tiffany Green couldn't get it to go, but will go to the free throw line. Keisha Soignier will pick up the foul. Just the first on Soignier. Tiffany Green, the junior from Chesapeake, Virginia, and the struggles at the line continue.
Charles had the foul on this end, but they had a great play getting her the screen. Watch Mel Thomas go to set the diagonal screen, and Tina Charles, excellent backdoor cut, beautiful pass inside. That's great execution of the offense and good passing by Connecticut.
Soignier pushing the pace. Green, foul from behind by Tiffany Green. It'll be Tiffany Green second.
You know, and you've got so many players contributing right now. You saw Mel Thomas hit the 3, Tina Charles hit the shot on the back door, Kalena Green steps in and drives to the basket. This is what makes UConn so difficult. It's going to make them a contender for a national title, is the depth that they have, the ability to score from so many positions. They've got the inside, they've got the outside, they've got the fast breaking game that they can score in transition. And Kalena Green, a tremendous rebounder and so fast with the basketball, got down to draw the charge or draw the foul on that shot attempt.
Green's got the second. The Huskies lead is up to 15. Coming up on 1 minute to play in the first half. This is TJ Jordan. Swings it across. Walters on top to Kennedy. Now it's TJ Jordan. 7 on the shot clock. Kennedy gives it up. Shadeja Green short on the 3. McLaren the rebound.
Good block out by McLaren.
35 seconds left. 13-second shot clock, game clock differential, and beautiful position for the jump hook inside. Tina Charles is now the first player to double digits. She's got 11 and 8.
And that's the kind of score they need from Tina Charles. She gets the defender down deep and then goes up strong with the shot.
Kennedy the drive, blocked from behind by Tina Charles, and she's been letting out some screams this season when she's made big plays like that one.
Well, Gino Ariema, I think, wanted to see if Tina Charles could put together a back-to-back game. She had the double-double yesterday, and she's come out playing with a lot of intensity. He's got some things to say to her right now, but she's been playing pretty hard.
Shot clock is off. Jordan can't hit the runner. 10 seconds left for the Huskies. Trying to get the last word here already with a 17-point lead. Soignier lost the handle with 2.4 left, so one last chance for the Lady Monarchs.
Too quick for her own good that time. She shot through 2 defenders and then just couldn't quite catch up with the basketball. Old Dominion has a chance.
Jen Nuzzo gonna let fly with a runner from midcourt. It had a chance, but falls away. So after a hard-fought and tightly played first half for the most part, the Huskies make a run and lead by 17 at halftime. Keep it here for the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam halftime report with Monica Jonigan.
We were talking at the break, only 3 of 17 by the 5 starters. So that's where the leadership comes from. That's where Old Dominion's really hurting as far as shooting percentage. UConn gets that 57% because they've got their fast break game cranked up. UConn was actually trailing in rebounds earlier in the game, but they've come back and set that. Kind of a sloppy game with the turnovers, both at 11, but you can see why UConn has the lead with the shooting percentage because they have an advantage of 20-12 as far as points in the paint.
Couple interesting developments for Connecticut. They're getting the second very strong game in scoring and rebounding back-to-back from Tina Charles. She had a 13 and 11 against Stanford last night, is nearly at a double-double right now with 11 points and 8 rebounds. Also, 2 straight nights on back-to-back games and back-to-back nights, and Connecticut fans will know what we're talking about here. Brittany Hunter playing in both of those games. Often she was not able to go back-to-back with swelling in the knee that's been a big problem for her throughout her career. She is on the floor to start the second half as Old Dominion has it. Knocked away by Green. Shahida Williams missing in the lane. She's got it back. She's going after Hunter and puts it straight in.
Well, that's a tough play inside, and Williams just powers up even over the much taller defender. And then ODU comes out with a little full court 2-2-1. They call this their slow up 2-2-1, just to make UConn pass the ball and use a little more of the clock.
Brittany Hunter inside and drops it home.
Brittany Hunter is so explosive with her movements around the basketball, and I know that knee injury has really slowed her ability to play night in and night out, but when she gets on the court, she is so explosive, and there showed it again.
Tiffany Green forced one up inside. Rebound Kalena Green. Now Renee Montgomery. 2 fouls in the first half, as did Maya Moore. Inside, Brittany Hunter banks in another one. What a ball game she is having. She's been very efficient with the basketball. She's only taken 4 shots. She's made them all. 8 points and 6 rebounds.
And she got the start tonight instead of Sharday Houston and has been very effective.
Tipped away for the moment, but Green got it. Here's Pym. Picked up 2 early fouls in the first half. Now it's here to start the second.
Yeah, I think that really hurt ODU. Meg Pym doesn't contribute a lot of points, just 8 to 9, but consistently 8 to 9 each game. But it's her leadership, her willingness to dive on the floor and get after it, I think that really inspires her teammates. They missed her.
Renee Montgomery buries a 3 from the corner, and the Huskies' lead has busted out to 20.
Well, Renee Montgomery hit 2 3-pointers in that first round game. The official stats came out after the game. She only had 5, but after they reviewed the tape, she actually had 8 points. She had 2 3-pointers and a 2-pointer, and it really started UConn off strong against Stanford.
That she did. Miss there for T.J. Jordan. Pym blocked by Brittany Hunter.
Big time block by Hunter.
Kalena Green weaves through the lane and back out again. Knocked away by Shahida Williams. There are numbers here for Old Dominion. Williams crosses over. Can't hit. Pym dribbles out the rebound.
See, and there's Meg Pym hustling down the court, getting after the loose ball, getting the offensive rebound.
Megan Pym from on top, thought about it instead, swings it over to Williams. Entry pass was knocked away by Kalena Green. It will be Old Dominion ball underneath.
Well, Meg Pym has the ability to stretch the defense and shoot the perimeter shot. Maybe not the three-point range, but more that 15 to 16-foot shot. So don't be surprised if she pulls up and shoots that.
Here's Maya Moore back in the game. At the 17-minute mark. All the way out. Oh, T.J. Jordan, trouble with the handle. No backcourt. Brittany Hunter nearly commits one.
Nope, she wasn't all the way over. You have to have all 3 points over, both feet and the ball, and she had 1 foot in the backcourt, so that's not a violation.
Great defense there by T.J. Jordan, really getting in the way there, but could not come up with the turnover. Gave Mel Thomas fits on that particular possession. Mel Thomas now with 973 career points, putting her 27 shy of the 1,000-point club. Would be a nice accomplishment for her 4-year career. So Brittany Hunter going to take a rest on the bench. A very productive 3:12 to start the second half. Tina Charles.
Oh,
How about that left hand hook in the post up?
that was pretty. She turned to go with her right hand, and she saw the double team, and a quick move to the left-hand stab hook.
And deflecting it was Keisha Soignier.
Tina Charles did such a nice job of reading the defense and going away down on the other end. Hopefully take another look at that.
Connecticut's a perfect 4 for 4 to start the half. They're now shooting 62% for the game. Out there hounding the Monarchs on defense. Big drive that time from Parker, and she was fouled as she went to the basket.
Well, here's what we were talking about on the other end of the court. Tina Charles turns, gets the ball inside, turns over her left shoulder first, and then goes back the opposite way with the left hand, avoids the defense, goes away from the double team, and uses a strong stab hook to get the bucket.
Jasmine Parker has the first one rattle out with a 22-point Connecticut advantage. T.J. Jordan checks out of the lineup for Old Dominion. So the two Jasmines in the backcourt for the Lady Monarchs, Parker and Walters. Parker's missed them both, but the long rebound comes right back out to her. This is Jasmine Walters. Tiffany Green has it stripped away, but it went right back out. Now it's stolen by Charles. Renee Montgomery through traffic, jump stop, and hits the pull-up.
She is so good with that stop and pop on the fast break. UConn has not had that in a point guard since Sue Bird, and Montgomery so good at it.
5 for 5 for the Huskies to start the second half. What a crossover by Walters there. Got it inside. Tiffany Green still after it. Draws contact and lays it in. This could go against Maya Moore. If it is, and it is her third. Timeout on the floor with the Huskies up by 22. U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam Connecticut with a 22-point lead over Old Dominion. You've heard from us about all the wonders of this tournament. Let's hear what Gino Auriemma says about the Paradise Jam.
You know, the number one reason you go to the tournament is a competition. You know, you want to play against the best teams. They've got some of the best teams in the country here. And it's in an environment where, you know, you can enjoy yourself. You can take your kids to a place they probably wouldn't go on their own. And I think the tournament accomplishes both things.
And it's really clear that the girls are having a great time. All the teams here, it's a great chance to get away. And, sure, they practice, they play their games, and their games count, and they definitely mean something. But, there's definitely more of a relaxed atmosphere among these players on these trips and coaches.
Well, they get a chance to do some planned activities. Basketball Travelers sets up for them a catamaran ride and snorkeling and other activities. But they also are spending a lot of time practicing, and I know Stanford had a 2-hour video session this morning, so there's still work to be done here.
Yeah, not quite as much fun there. We've got 2 players down, and Megan Pym actually has a problem here, holding her left leg or left ankle. And she came down on top of Mel Thomas, who appears to be just fine, but Meg Pym is in some serious pain down there on the baseline. Both teams going over to their benches.
You hate to see that. Meg Pym, such a hard worker for this team. We mentioned earlier she went out with the foul trouble in the first half. Here we'll take a look. She goes up for the block and just comes down wrong and immediately grabs her ankle in pain.
So she'll be attended to by the training staff and also assistant coach over there as well. Nikita Lowry-Dawkins helping out. If you hate to see this, just as we're talking about what a great experience this tournament is, anything can happen on the floor, and hopefully it's nothing too serious for Meg Pym, but she's clearly in a lot of pain. So this is about as quiet as the arena has been during any of the games throughout both tournaments. Now being lifted to her feet is Megan Pym, and a good round of applause. We're putting some weight on that injured foot or ankle. Hopefully just a sprain. So the Lady Monarchs down 22 at the moment with 15-17 to play in the second half. And his unexpected timeout now over. Gino Auriemma still with some instructions to his group. Soigné, Montgomery, and Thomas, the 3-guard alignment right now for Connecticut, with Charles and Maya Moore to inbound.
And speaking of ankle injuries, Abby Weiner from Duke has been out and has not played in either of the Duke games in this tournament, but was in uniform tonight, so I'm curious to see if she'll play in the game against UConn on Sunday.
Tina Charles' fine night continues. She's got 15 now. She's the only UConn player in double digits, the only player in the game in double digits. And Maya Moore now with 5 assists in the game. Tough little runner for TJ Jordan. And UConn, as always, putting pressure on the defense immediately. Moore swings it across to Montgomery. Down low for Charles in the post. Back to Montgomery. Little floater in the lane is short. Tiffany Green the rebound.
Well, they like to use the ball to the mid post or the high post, and then a lot of cuts. Montgomery had the nice cut, just couldn't finish.
Now Kennedy missed on the tough try on the move there. Connecticut could not control the miss, and Old Dominion will have it underneath. Jasmine Walters to inbound. Looking underneath. Gets it to it was TJ Jordan, who could not quite get it down, but it will stay with the Lady Monarchs.
Well, Jordan has already reached double figures, 10 points, but I think a little frustrated right now coming off a game where she scored 28 points. She's only 4 of 13 right now. A lot of good defense being put on her by the Huskies.
Now Old Dominion having big problems finding open shots against this Connecticut defense. TJ Jordan hits the deck. She appears to be okay. Now has it on the far wing against Mel Thomas.
Not a lot of movement right now with Old Dominion.
3-ball won't go. Shadeja Green came down with it, had her legs taken out by the falling Keisha Soigné, and Soigné will pick up the personal foul. It's her second.
Yeah, that had to have hurt Shadeja Green. Not something Keisha Soigné did on purpose, but was trying to block out. Green goes up strong for the rebound, and Soigné fell back into her.
third foul on Connecticut in the opening 6 minutes of the second half. There's TJ Jordan. Shadeja Green from the wing. Maya Moore helping out, makes the steal.
That looked like what UConn did the other night to Jane Appel. They brought the help defense. Moore realizing they wanted to throw it into Green and played some excellent help defense.
Pull-up jumper won't go. Mel Thomas, the offensive rebound off the Soignier miss. Soignier right back to Thomas. Ball moving quickly. Alley-oop to Maya Moore.
There's one for the highlight reel. Beautiful pass by Mel Thomas, and Maya Moore just gets up and tips it in.
The Huskies now with 16 assists on 23 made baskets. Gino Auriemma has talked quite a bit about the return of the passing game that was so wonderful during all those championship runs for the University of Connecticut. And it's been a little bit disappeared over the last few years, but it has been reappearing here in the opening 4 games.
Well, Mel Thomas was on the right side of the lane, always a three-point threat, but looks across, floats it up in the air, beautiful pass to the front of the rim, and with her athleticism, Maya Moore fired up about that, goes up and gets it and tips it in. Incredibly athletic at the top of her jump, able to put it in. What a beautiful pass by Mel Thomas to set her up.
So a 24-point UConn advantage. Firmly in control here at the 13-10 mark to play. Shahida Williams hits inside.
Tough shot for Williams, right up over the defender Green. We have a lot of last name Greens in this game.
We have Kalena. Oh, beautiful pass from McLaren to the cutting Moore.
Another great example of Maya Moore getting to a spot on the floor for her teammates to deliver the basketball. Maya Moore has such a knack for moving away from the ball. It's what makes her such a special player. And the good passing, the good ball movement, great backdoor pass and backdoor cut by Maya Moore.
Kylie McLaren scores in the lane.
Well, you mentioned it, Mark, the great passing by UConn, something that they haven't had for a few years, and he changed up the offense so that they could use that post player as a center point to get the passing going, and they've really done well with it so far here early.
Sierra Little off the Old Dominion bench gets her first hoop, and a foul away from the ball. It's going to go against Old Dominion. It'll be Sierra Little.
Well, UConn, it's a variation of the triangle offense, but they'll pass to the low post or mid post, who can distribute from there, or they'll pass to the high post, who can distribute from there. There's another example. The high post gets it. Backdoor cut by Renee Montgomery. They've really been working well together these last few possessions.
And the bigs for Connecticut are showing they've got the ability to make these passes. McLaren's made a couple nice ones. Chance for a three-point play here for Renee Montgomery.
Gino Auriemma said the focus is to get the ball inside. It changes a lot of looks that we can get. Green gets the ball up top, able to make that beautiful pass. Excellent offside movement away from that three-player game on the ball side. They're able to deliver to Montgomery with a great backdoor cut.
Now trying to complete that three-point play. Montgomery with 11 points in the game. She's 5 of 6 from the field.
And with all the Greens, I misspoke. That's McLaren that made that pass. I want to make sure she gets the proper credit for that beautiful pass.
That's right. The Kalena Green, the one Green on the Connecticut squad. And, of course, Tiffany Green.
And
along with Shadeja for Old Dominion.
Right.
59-32. Huskies with an outstanding second half run to go with the way they closed out the first half. Jasmine Parker, 9 on the shot clock. Oh, it was stolen momentarily by Montgomery, but she lost it. And it went out of bounds, though, off of an Old Dominion player's foot. So Connecticut will keep the ball with 11:40 to play. The Huskies rolling in St. Thomas. The Huskies of Connecticut showing why they are the #2 ranked team in the nation with a 59-32 lead right now over Old Dominion. Mark Brown along with Brenda Van Langen. Monica Jonigan with us as well, as the Huskies have gone back to the future a little bit, if you will, with this passing game. Gino Auriemma telling us earlier in the week that he's really looked at all the film from 10 years ago or so to kind of remind himself of how they did it and all the magic that was in those great passing teams, and definitely being re-implemented into the Connecticut offense, and with great success here.
Exactly, and going back and looking at those teams from 95 through 98 they did such a nice job of getting it to the post and using the passing, and then with Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi being such great guards, they became much more guard oriented, and now just trying to go back to using the post players to set up the passing in the offense.
What a rebound by Kalena Green. Maya Moore in the post up, leaves from McLaren. McLaren reverses it home. Kylie McLaren with a big contribution in this one. 6 points off the bench, a couple of rebounds, and a couple of assists.
Showing her ability to move around the basket.
Shahida Williams with a tough move inside for Old Dominion.
She's come back. We mentioned that she was 0 of 8 against Charlotte after having 2 double-figure scoring games early. And she's really come back and done well this second half.
Kalena Green faked the three and gave it to Mel Thomas, who hits another one. Mel Thomas now with 3 3-pointers and 6 attempts tonight for a total of 9 points.
When the passing game starts clicking and people are feeding each other and being unselfish and moving the basketball, it just creates a sense of confidence, and then everything starts going well. And Mel Thomas hitting the threes, everybody contributing offensively right now for Connecticut. Again, the passing around the perimeter, setting each other up. And Thomas goes out, passes out, gets the reward back. There's some mix-up with the defenders. You can't leave Mel Thomas open for the three-pointer. You have to know that's what she does well, and some confusion defensively.
That's the best pass of the game as Kylie McLaren, the no-look backdoor bounce to set up the layup.
McLaren did not get to play in yesterday's Stanford win, and she has come to play this evening.
Contested shot there and maybe guilty of a foul for a chance at a three-point play. Now McLaren with great size, but she is a player who brings lots of skills to the floor.
Yeah, she certainly does. And from that high post position, opening up the court, allowing her team to make cuts. Here McLaren gets it. And again, that nice shovel pass back behind to Green, Kalena Green, who makes a beautiful cut to the basket. They've opened up the court and allowed those lanes for everybody on the team to make sharp, aggressive cuts to the basket.
Good catch by Mel Thomas off the errant pass. Connecticut with a 30-point advantage at the 9.5-minute mark. Maya Moore, another back cut by Kalena Green, who lays it in.
They are taking great pleasure in making beautiful passes to set up the shots right now. Another tremendous pass.
Well, the University of Connecticut, can they play any better? They're up 32. The UConn men's basketball team will travel to St. Thomas next season for the 2008 Paradise Jam. Basketball Traveler is putting together exclusive fan packages at the team hotel in Paradise. Contact Basketball Travelers at paradisejam.com or call 425-776-2775 to reserve your package today. Right back inside for Old Dominion, but they turn it over. Tiffany Green, and then bumps into Renee Montgomery, committing the foul.
They just got happy feet that time, but just didn't know if the help defender was coming. Got happy feet, got rid of it, and turned it over.
Mel Thomas will check out.
Here's another angle at that pass right before the break. Maya Moore just goes up over the head of her defender to get it to Green. We talked to Gino Auriemma at practice a couple days ago, and he made mention that I really enjoy going to watch this team play because I don't know what's going to happen. We've got this offense now that I don't know who's going to pass to whom, how we're going to score, and it makes it fun for me, and I'm really enjoying it.
And very free-flowing and ad-lib He really compared it to jazz music. Quite high praise from Coach Auriemma.
Like a nice improv session.
Yep.
You never know exactly what's going to happen.
An offensive foul against Old Dominion's what happened there. Jessica Kennedy commits it with 8:32 to play. Well, Connecticut had built a 17-point lead at halftime and actually then began playing better and did so immediately. They made their first 5 shots of the second half and have been burning it up. They pushed their percentage up to 62%. Second half shooting 14 of 18. Another backdoor pass, that time defended a little bit better by Old Dominion. They've seen it enough times. There's Maya Moore working out front. Forced it into McLaren, who couldn't come up with it. And it will go over to Old Dominion.
Old Dominion, a reflection of their head coach, Wendy Larry, just gritty competitor. They have all come out to play hard. They play tough defensively. They knew they were in for a battle, but they knew this game would be a measuring stick. And they've done some things really well, but I think they've seen a lot of things that they can learn from.
Soigné into the lane. Cutting Green, lays it in. Green made the steal, and she got the finish at the other end.
And how about that body control? Knowing the shot blocker is going up, gave a little head and shoulder fake, got herself under control, and scored.
Lauren Dixon is in the game for UConn, wearing number 30 in blue. She's matching up with Jasmine Walters, one of the 2 heralded freshmen. A little lesser heralded, but how can anybody be as heralded as Maya Moore? Here's Dixon. Looking for Moore. Moore somehow came up with it. High post McLaren. Dixon again. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. 12. Moore on top. Very comfortable out there. Doesn't hit that pull-up jumper. Kalena Green in traffic. She's got the hoop, and will have a chance for a 3-point play.
Last year, Kalena Green, one of the best rebounding guards in all of the country.
Got 5 rebounds in this game, including an offensive one and a putback. She'll try to increase Connecticut's lead when we come back.
The U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam women's tournament started with Wake Forest taking it 55-53 over Indiana, Texas A&M 70-36 over Wichita State, Duke 53-41 over Purdue, UConn taking it from Stanford 66-54, and in today's action, Indiana 64-54, giving Wichita State their second loss, Wake Forest taking it 53-46 in an upset over Texas A&M, and Duke won it 50-42 over Temple. Guys.
Thanks, Monica. And with that Duke victory, which was a very hard-fought victory, by the way, that one not decided until the final moments. Duke will sit there and await the winner of this game, which very much is apparent with Connecticut with a tour de force performance here at the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Some good things about last night's victory against Stanford. Many more good things about their performance tonight.
You know, and earlier, Don Staley's Temple team gave Duke all they could handle. And then last night, I thought Purdue played very well against Duke, too. Duke got off to a slow start in both those games and had to play well in the second half to win. So I'm eager to see this UConn-Duke matchup on Sunday.
Soigné hitting. Many of the fans out there wouldn't have had a chance to see Duke, but we've seen them both of the last 2 nights. I think it's fair to say that they haven't played in either of their games as well as Connecticut has played at times throughout both of their first 2 games, if that means anything.
Right, but they do have depth. Tonight they played 11 different players, and that's without Abby Wayner playing. So they have the depth to match up to UConn, and they've got size and speed and some good outside shooting. So it's going to be an interesting matchup.
Lauren Dixon and Soigné were out on the run out. And the 2 lightning quick guards hook up for another UConn basket, 78-39. The score now with 5:45 to play.
That's right. The combination of players that Gino can put on the floor for UConn. You've got such fast guard play right now with Green with Soignier and Lauren Dixon.
And a foul inside as Jessica Kennedy went to the basket. Maya Moore's been picking up some fouls in this game, and this one looks like it's going to go against Kalena Green. Just her second. Moore was in the area. This is Jessica Kennedy playing in her 4th game of the season. Has not started a game, but she's been very productive. Plays 25 minutes per game. And tonight actually got Old Dominion started off very nicely. She's got 7 points as Maya Moore checks out. Kalena Green does as well. Big round of applause from the fine contingent of UConn fans that have made it down from Connecticut. Soignier pushing the pace. Megan Gardler in for the first time for Connecticut off the bench. So is Tahira Williams. Gardner's 22 and Williams number 2. Gino going a little further down that bench. And good opportunity to get some playing time. This is Gardler rather, spotting up for the 3. Pym is back into the game, Brenda.
After going down hard with that ankle injury.
Yeah, in a game that is now pretty much out of hand.
She's limping.
A bit surprising to see her back in there. Here's Tahira Williams. Gardler gives to Dixon. Contested jump shot. She's fouled by TJ Jordan, so Lauren Dixon will get 2 free throws. Dixon's introduction to the Paradise Jam a night ago did not go so well. She was on the floor about 30 seconds, committed a foul. No big deal there. And then off the inbound, she fouled Candace Wiggins shooting a 3. So the 2 fouls in 2 seconds, and Gino had seen enough. Pulled her out, and we didn't see her again until now. But she's got a bright future. Obviously tough to get playing time in that Connecticut backcourt, but he seems to have found some time for her in each of these games.
Well, she's so fast, and she has that winning mentality, playing with Tina Charles for Christ the King, and winning back-to-back national championships. So she brings a winning attitude to the court, no doubt about it.
Keisha Soignier checks out, replaced by Cassie Kearns. As nearly all the UConn players have played, Jackie Fernandez going to the scores table will make it complete for Connecticut. Meanwhile, also on the floor for the first time for Old Dominion, number 3 Dawn Coleman getting her first action of the evening and the Paradise Jam. It's Tahira Williams. Down low for McLaren. Back to Williams. Now Cassie Kearns. Passes and screens. Lauren Dixon. 8 on the shot clock. Broken up by TJ Jordan. Trouble with the handle. Finally got it. Now Megan Pym gives it to Dawn Coleman. Quick release. Gardler, the good block out and rebound. Under the 4-minute mark. A 40-point advantage. Brenda, this game did not start out like a 40-point game.
No, it certainly did not. Old Dominion came out and played hard. They just didn't shoot very well. They got themselves in foul trouble, and then UConn could not have been clicking any better offensively here in the second half.
Jessica Kennedy commits the foul. Cassie Kearns will go to the free throw line, but first a timeout on the floor in St. Thomas with Connecticut doubling up on Old Dominion. University of Connecticut with an 80-40 advantage over Old Dominion now with 3:33 to play. Mark Brown along with Brenda Van Langen at the University of the Virgin Islands. Charlotte Amalie, St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Just a wonderful place for a basketball tournament. And right now, Gino Auriemma has pretty much emptied his bench. And a good opportunity here, 3.5 minutes for some players who don't get a lot of time to score, like there, Tahira Williams.
It is a good place for a basketball tournament, which sounds kind of funny since there's so many great outdoor activities to do. But University of Virgin Islands, this facility, almost a 3,000 seat facility, and it's a terrific facility for this type of basketball tournament.
Jen Nuzzo running the point right now for the Lady Monarchs. Gives it across. Jasmine Parker, tough drive. She'll have a chance for a three-point play. Drew the foul on Tahira Williams.
Well, this Old Dominion team not going to quit. They, as I mentioned earlier, really understanding coming into this game. They're 3-0 coming in, but realizing they hadn't played the likes of Connecticut on their schedule, but they will be playing Tennessee later this year, and they have a tough non-conference schedule, but they knew this would be a measuring stick. And I'm sure have learned a lot of things they can take away to help them get better as the season progresses.
Up there, competitive fire from the opening tip through much of the first half, when they certainly gave Connecticut all they could handle throughout much of it, was quite impressive, and that certainly will serve Wendy Larry and her team well. They are fitting in some new players, trying to learn about themselves, and this was a great test. They have scheduled, as you said, pretty aggressively before their conference season. And the Paradise Jam, of course, is a pretty good example of that, with the talent that is in particularly the St. Thomas division.
Well, 2 years ago, we had Michigan State, who had just come off being in the national championship game, and Tennessee and Maryland were both in it, and Maryland won the national championship that season, and Tennessee, of course, the next season. So there have been some tremendous basketball games played in this facility.
Off the rebound, here come the Huskies running out. Lauren Dixon. Tahira Williams laid it in. Williams making the most of her time out there. She's got 2 hoops and a couple of rebounds. And we are certainly hoping that we can look forward to 2 days from now to another great top 10 matchup between Connecticut and Duke, as that's certainly what we're looking at now, with Duke already qualified for the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam Championship game on Sunday. At the same time, right here, Jessica Kennedy checks out of the ball game, replaced by Elena Veronina for her first action. From Ekaterinburg, Russia. Jackie Fernandez goes to the corner. UConn continuing to run their offense here, even in these final moments. An offense that was just spectacular this evening. There's no other way to describe it. Oh, tough little floater in the lane for Lauren Dixon.
Only 5'4", she gets herself in and just springs up over for the jumper.
6 points for Dixon. All here off the bench in the second half. Sierra Little gives it out for Dawn Coleman. It's nothing with 1:15 left.
Well, as UConn matches up with Duke on Sunday, of course, Joanne P. McCauley, head coach of Duke, replacing Gail Gestencourse, who went to Texas. But I think we're going to have to ask Joanne about that move to Duke. She was just here at the Paradise Jam 2 years ago with Michigan State. I'm kind of wondering, did she go to Duke just so she could come back to the Virgin Islands again?
Maybe.
I know that was a tough move for her to leave Michigan State, but she was thrilled to have the opportunity to go to Duke. And they played well, getting a lot of people involved tonight.
Should make for a great matchup. Obviously, plenty of history between University of Connecticut and Duke on both the men's and the women's side, and some pretty high-profile matchups. Their fans have coexisted fairly nicely in close quarters here in the Sports and Fitness Center, but they will be pitted against one another, as it will be the teams 2 nights from now. Final 35 seconds. Veronina off the dribble, can't hit the jumper. And the battle for the rebound Last touch by Old Dominion. And maybe the last chance for a number of the players on the floor to get a hoop at the Paradise Jam for this year anyway. The Husky fans are on their feet in appreciation for what has been an outstanding all-around effort. And a few seconds ahead, Wendy Larry meeting Gina Wariema halfway, and an embrace between